Yo, I just forgot how to do my intro, and then it just came back to me. Hey, yo, what's up, and welcome to my corner of the internet. So I usually try to recommend good anime, at least anime that you're gonna be definitely interested in and you enjoy the whole like plot and ordeal of things. But as someone who's watched anime pretty much my entire life, I've watched a lot of bad anime, like sincerely a lot of bad anime.
言っておくが、わしは強いぞ。
And this bad anime in particular is probably my favorite bad anime of all time. Like, I genuinely love this anime. You can't tell me nothing about this anime.
いや、おとなしいもんだ。なあ、ドワーってなんだてめえ、つけてやったんだぞ。俺はこら、殺すぞこら。
Tenjo-Tenji is brutality, edgy, martial arts, drama, and when I was a teenager, this fixed that scratch, bro. It got to that itch where I needed the anime to really do something, and this anime did it in like 25 to like 26 episodes, and like I genuinely enjoy this anime for all the things that it did and a lot of the potential it held within it. Of course, it's unfinished potential, but we're gonna get into that soon.
しまった。力加減間違えた。まずい。
This anime was everything to teenage me, and boy did I get happy about this anime. Like, I still love it to this day as an adult, of course for different reasons than when I was a teenager. What it did with its characters is something that a lot of animes fail to replicate to this day. And of course, I'm getting ahead of myself.
生まれ変わって出直してこい。はけ。
Tenjo-Tenji, written by Ito Ogure, who also made Air Gear, and that's another anime that like broke my heart, which was kind of bad, and like I just wish like some of these animes could come back, and like that's another video I want to talk about. But another anime that broke my heart, and it's by the same author, and that has to be a sign because I actually genuinely love this guy's animes. Tenjo-Tenji has us following Nagi Soichiro, a delinquent with his best friend Bob, who try to take over a high school, and this is where we begin. The story starts off with such a banger, like... This is probably one of the most noticeable anime main character beatdowns of all time. Like, you've seen this. You just probably didn't know the anime. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, when I was a kid, I saw this randomly in like an AMV and I hunted it down. I made sure to find it, and good to know that this became one of my favorites, and I still love it to this day.
立ちなさい。この夏目綾の婿ともあろう男がその程度の憲法使いにいいようにあしらわれるとは何たる醜態。
その程度の憲法使い。
Tenjo-Tenji got into my heart was literally how it had its characters be real human beings. A lot of the emotion was genuinely genuine. The human relationships, a lot of the moments within the anime absurdity was incredible. It felt like I was watching an opera within anime, and it had so many like tragedies, so many bad things, a lot of genuine human emotion, of course dialed up, absolutely dialed up. Like, some of this stuff is crazy, but it was so like impactful. It felt so thematic, and it genuinely executed so many great ideas. Of course, if you get away from the clunkiness of the anime, it just did so many great things.
Hey, look, Aya, I've only got one good shoulder right now. And on top of that, my mind's hazy from this nice little nap I just had. So what I'm trying to say is, if you've got a beef with me, forget this after-school nonsense and come at me now.
Also, this anime has one of the best love webs, love triangles ever. Like, all of these characters' feelings, emotions, and fights hold some emotional weight, and a lot of the powers and a lot of the significance of moments actually make sense. Like a lot of things are predicated upon these teenagers having these moments and making these extreme thoughts and doing these different things. And it actually makes sense. Like you could see how someone did what they did within this anime, and you can completely be like, yeah, that's a fair response. Like if you were at least a wild teenager, like I went through some things as a teenager, so I definitely can see how you could end up doing certain things. Of course, some of the themes in this, like there was a little bit of incest, but it's not like direct. It's more of a like really loving his like baby sister, and of course you know how anime does things, but I love how they portrayed it in a more obsessive. It's odd how this anime really made things make sense, and it's genuinely a gem. Like it's one of the few animes where I felt like there was weight to actions and deaths and moments, and characters had feelings, bro. And of course, let me talk about the fights. As a martial arts anime, you live and die by your fights. And this anime definitely did that. Its animation can stand today. Of course, it's not as filled with color and a lot of the glow that we're seeing now in anime, but this anime could stand toe-to-toe with some of the best animes being showcased nowadays. Of course, the fights aren't as intricate, but they hold such weight. A lot of the punches feel incredible. A lot of the techniques are super cool, and they seem to be in some sort of Japanese style. Well, obviously, because this is a Japanese anime, but it feels like it's sort of ingrained in the family Japanese style where they grow and they make their own styles and they have their own ideas, and then the offshoot families take and steal, stuff like that. A lot of this anime really can stand up in modern day, and I kind of want this anime to return because I feel like it would be a bombshell of like a lot of crazy ideas, and I feel like it could be re-executed so wonderfully. Like this anime genuinely does a lot of great things, and I'm recommending it to you because if you just get past some of the clunkiness, you would, oh my god, love it just as much as I am. Or at least you enjoy it. Enjoy the ride that it is.
てめえが無能ってこともわからん。無能だから無能っつってんじゃん。この筋肉バカがピチピチの服着て何浴びてやがんだ感じがやろう。ベーシック正してキモいっつうのもっこりと言えて俺様のつぶらな瞳を怪我すんじゃねえ。今何時だと思ってやがんだ。新聞配達の皆さんの労働意欲もうるせえのっつうの。
Also, this anime is not for kids. 100% not for kids. Like, don't let like the cute stuff fool you. Like, it literally is not for kids. Like, it goes crazy with blood and gore and some of the harsher themes. It does have sex, which I liked. It seemed so real. It felt like a drama. This anime still gives me the tingles, and a lot of the ideas were expressed. There was such emotion. There was such power. There was just death that mattered. And honestly, a lot of anime do this thing where they throw away death and it almost doesn't matter at all what happens to these characters at the end of it. And that's unfortunate because death has to have a meaning, and this anime makes death have a meaning. It makes so many fights have meaning, and within these fights we see the emotional steps where we're understanding why these two people are coming to a head, and sometimes it's just because they're fighting over a girl, and that is so realistic, especially now in the day and life we live of the toxic lifestyles that people like to portray. These emotions feel like genuine portrayals, and they're so realistic. Of course, it has the powers and stuff like that, but a lot of that is secondary. That gets in the shonen boys like me when I was a teenager, but you stay for the emotions, you stay for the conflict. And then one of the moments that really earned a lot of my love was when Maya went to fight Aya. Sister versus sister over jealousy because Maya was like kissed like Aya's guy. Like that's genuine. Like, and it's not like a goofy anime win. Of course, how they started is a little goofy, but the way it like happens, and I kind of get it because Aya is a bit like boy crazy and like the first boy to like happen upon. Of course, their meaning is totally anime, but it's really good. Like, I don't know why. I don't know. It's just one of those animes that whenever I see it or whenever I think about it, I just have such great memories, and I'm probably just biased because I fell in love with this anime. I finished the manga.
ならさっさとやれよ。じゃ遠慮なく。いえ。
Like, it just did so many impactful things, and it felt like I was watching a genuine story. Of course, the anime didn't finish the way it should, and the manga, I read it and I finished it, and it was alright. It was alright. I loved a lot of the style. I loved a bit of the anime, the magical realism of the anime, a lot of the ideas. I felt like a lot of it needed to be fleshed out. A lot of it needed to have a little bit more time to really execute on a lot of the ideas. But the animation, the drawings within the manga were incredible. Like, that style is still very indicative of that time within anime, because it had this bit of realism, and it sometimes feels like a lot of people attribute to Bleach. Like, Bleach isn't the only anime during that time to try to be a little bit more mature, try to have a different way of showcasing its characters. They were tall, they had a bit more muscular structure, stuff like that. That is not solely just Bleach. There was a lot of anime during that time. I think just Bleach is probably the more famous of all the more adult animes, but there was a lot of different animes back then that were a little bit more adult, a little bit more teenager, late teenager, were actually just as out there and showcasing that style just as much as Bleach. It's just Bleach because it was the big three and stuff like that, and it was one of the biggest shonen to ever be released. But hey, regardless, I think Tenjo Tenji has so many great pieces of potential, and you see it, you genuinely see it within the art style, within the animation, within the characters. A lot of stuff just makes sense within this anime for me.
Shin kun. Gomen nasai.
So the reason why I'm recommending it is because a lot of this potential will showcase to you how boring anime can be and how we can have these extreme highs and lows. Tenjo Tenji is showcasing to me what Gurren Lagann did incredibly. Like, it had impactful moments. We do not start the same as how we end, and that's one of those things that I hate about anime. Sometimes I genuinely dislike how we begin somewhere and that's how we end. That doesn't feel like a real story. That doesn't feel like a real adventure. It's so unrealistic. So within all these good ideas, it obviously failed at so many different things. It failed to get you in, and if you kept watching, of course you would get along and you'd have a lot of pieces that were enjoyable. Besides the ecchi, besides the gore, besides so many different things, you genuinely saw a story that made sense and tore people apart. And that is what happens when we talk about like Sheen and his like best friend in that fight, and then we see how I forgot the guy's name. He basically beats up our main character, his older brother, and his emotions and like his little issues with Maya and how Maya can't deal with him because he basically in some sort of way killed her brother. There's so many different things done within this anime that make so much sense, and it feels like I'm watching real characters. Like, I feel for these characters. And once again, the art style totally stole me because it was anime, but it wasn't so anime to the point where it's like ridiculous. Like, so anyway, how do you feel about it? Did you like this bad anime? Have you seen this bad anime? I know you've seen that violent scene where the main character gets beat up. I know you've seen that. And the emotions that he feels after that, God, this feels incredible. Like, I really do love this show. So if you like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how you feel. Have you seen it? Have you watched it? Are you going to watch it? Actually, please let me know, and have a great day.